All right, guys, we're starting our first lesson of the semester of the school year. It's our first experiment. We're going to be um, doing lesson number 3 from history of science, and this is the guide by Rebecca Berg Maynard. So this one has several components to it. So we first started reading about lesson 1 and 2 about Archimedes, and it was very interesting. We took a little tangent dive on finding out some of his accomplishments. Obviously, we're not here in the book, but we skipped and we looked online about his accomplishments. And one of his very important accomplishments was he figured out the theories behind buoyancy and displacement of water, or liquid for that matter. So in the lesson now here, lesson 3, number 2, it's asking us to refer to this book here, The Way Science Works. And on page 13 of the book, there's an experiment here. It's about measuring density and displacement of water. So obviously here it's asking to create a little Play-Doh caricature, and then model, and then you weigh it. You put it into the water jug, whatever the water displaces, the amount. That's your displacement of water from this sort of Play-Doh little figure that you make. So after going through all of this and having a discussion, we thought about doing a little more, making a link between where the roots came of science to the experiment, and then relating it to what is the modern analog carburetor. We're going to be bridging the differences, the past or the origins of where we had the discovery of buoyancy and displacement of water. This experiment, which is very well teaching us how much water gets displaced and how to measure it. But we're going to go another step, and try to link it to how cars work, how carburetors work, and how this type of technology, which goes back a long time, 280 years before Christ, and how this technology later now comes up in our analog carburetors. So we're going to start an experiment here. We have some carburetors. These are complete carburetors that my son and I have put together and refurbished. These are for our 1966 Volkswagen. These have the float where the fuel collects, that later goes inside the venturi, that then later goes into the engine. Most of these carburetors, they have the setup is where fuel comes in from the top, and then it drops down into the float bowl, and that's where later the carburetor picks up the fuel. So you got to have a little reservoir of fuel. So we have two different ones. We have the standard style, which feeds from the top, and it has a regular float. And then we have this Holly, which is an aftermarket, which is a very nice carburetor, because it's going to help us with this experiment, where we're going to be able to see that float rise and stop, and help us show a working float displacing water, being displaced by the fuel, or in this case water, to show us how this thing stops from overfilling the float bowl. So here we are. We have this carburetor here, and first we're going to show you on this one. Oh, by the way, here is that same one, this Holly here. I have opened one of them so you can see. Here's what they call the needle valve, and it's basically a little needle that goes up and down, and it covers the hole. It pushes up, closes, and then when it drops, it opens and lets fuel in this case water. Same thing with this one here. So we have the top port of the carburetor, where we have this needle that comes in and out, and the water fuel goes in here and it comes out through here. And then you have this float bowl, this little float in the bowl, that when that level rises, pushes in on the needle and keeps it from overfilling. So what we're gonna do is show you guys, okay, let's start this. We're gonna do it with the syringe. So the first one is, we're gonna put it in right here. Hold on, let me open the needle so we can show you. Right there, it's down. Hold on. You see how it goes up? When it goes up, it closes. So I'm gonna show you guys we're gonna use a syringe just to show that the fuel comes in and it's gonna drop into the bowl. So we have water with a little bit of food dye in it. Let's see if we can do it. It's a hard syringe. There you go. There you go. Good job. There you go. So that's the way the pump, okay, stop. That's the way a fuel pump would do that. Did you see that? Say yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty interesting, right? The way the water comes in and that drips into the float bowl. So now what we're gonna do is, stop playing with that now that you're done. And then now we're gonna show you here on this bowl by just putting in food coloring from this bottle here that we have, and we're gonna basically just fill it up on the outside because we want to show you how it rises. It's very simple. It's very similar setup to your toilet at home on your bowl. Same thing. Go ahead, pour the food dye in there, or the water. The only reason why we put dye in it is so we can see it in the other. Keep going, push it, squeeze it in there. Keep squeezing it. There it goes. It's floating. Oh, it's outside of the. So this has to be obviously on a hinge. So I'm just gonna hold it here, and there it goes. It's rising to the level, and right there. Stop right there. So now this float bowl has come up, and this little point right there, this little point right here, pushes up on this needle right here. It pushes up onto it and closes and keeps water or fuel from coming in. So now that you've seen this, we're gonna go and show you on our actual carburetor over here. So we're gonna do the same thing. My son's gonna pour in the food coloring, and let's watch the water. Hopefully this is a carburetor that we haven't restored yet, but we're gonna be doing a restoration soon. So yeah, water's barely coming in, right? Yeah, I can see it right there. Starting to turn blue. There you go. I see it. Now he's squeezing it in there. He's having a hard time squeezing it. But you can see the water coming into the bowl. You need help with that? Let me know and I'll do it. Oh, it's leaking. We have a leaker. Hold on. Stop there. Hold the video. The camera. And I'm gonna tighten it up. We have a leaker somewhere. So we're gonna tighten this bowl. Somebody forgot to tighten up these bowls. I'm not gonna say who, but the person that forgot to tighten those bowls is now doing it. Okay, I think we got most of it from stopping the leak. Nope, it's still leaking. Okay, well we're just gonna show it. You want to keep pushing it, or you want me to do it?
Oh, no.
Okay, so he's gonna keep doing it. My son's gonna keep pushing it in there, and hopefully we have enough. I think we have a failure on this project. Okay, let me do it, because otherwise we're gonna leak the whole thing. Here, you get on this side. and film from here. Okay. So let's see if we can.
Uh-oh.
There we go. That's the reason why we had that little tray, because I didn't know. I've never used this bowl. This carburetor. So I didn't know if it was gonna leak, and sure enough. Anyhow. It's pushing a lot of the water out, but anyhow. You can see water coming in.
I think you can see the float rising.
You do?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I think it's going a little bit.
Going in, right? It's also leaking a lot out.
Push it with all your strength.
So that's the only disadvantage of this. One of the big there you go. It's pretty much.
Wait, I think it's going
It's
up.
already up, right? You see how it's pretty much parallel to the. Yeah, see, I can't push any of it out anymore. So that means this is the level of the float bowl here. So that's the level of the fuel on this carburetor, and I couldn't squeeze anymore because the little needle valve went up and blocked that entrance. Zoom out a little bit. But anyhow, see it going down again, so I can probably fill it up again. Anyhow, so there you go. So you can see how simple, like the water right here was displacing the float, and by doing the displacement of the actual float, it actually pushes it up. So it's like a boat, or a submarine. As buoyancy increases, it goes up and it pushes up. So think of it as a submarine. You know, when you got buoyancy in a submarine, it'll rise and push up and then come up into above the water. So I hope you guys enjoy this. See, there we go. This one. See. Now we don't want it to be pushing so much that it'll lock it out. So this is, see how it floats right there. So that's how a concept back from, you know, from almost
2 million years ago?
how many?
2 million years ago?
Not 2 million, but over 2,000 for sure. You know, a concept that's kind of old. We still use it in modern cars. Obviously now we have electronic fuel injection, which is different. It doesn't use these, but if you have a classic car or anything that is, you know, uses carburetors, like your lawnmower or your leaf blower that runs on gas, this little concept works on all of those devices, all those tools. So a lot of tools that we have are still running on this analog concept of float and needle valves,
And sink.
letting fuel in and out. What's that?
And sink.
And sinks, yeah. Anyhow, I hope you enjoy this one. Hopefully we made a linkage between the past, the experiment, and the modern life. And hopefully you enjoy this. We'll catch you guys on the next one.